Ladies and gentlemen, this game between Bobby Genius Fischer and Mikhail Tal was played in 6-1, where Bobby opens with e4, c5 from Tal, and we have the Sicilian defense. Knight f3, knight c6. Bobby strikes in the center with d4. We have takes and takes. Here, black could continue in a number of ways. g6 is the accelerated dragon. Knight f6 is the normal continuation of the open Sicilian. Or e6, which is a Taimanov variation which was played in the game. Bobby develops his knight to c3, queen c7. Bobby plays g3, controlling a developing square for the dark squared bishop to develop with tempo on the queen. Knight f6, knight b to d5 from Bobby, hitting the queen. Tal retreats the queen to b8. Bishop f4, Bobby developing very aggressively with his bishop hitting the queen again. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got blunder number 1 from Tal. The best move was for black to actually push the pawn instead of pinning his knight to the queen. But Bobby develops with bishop to e2. I tried to understand this move, but the best I could come up with was that this restricts your opponent's most active piece. So I guess that's a pro tip. Tal develops with bishop to c5, getting ready to castle. But ladies and gentlemen, Bobby is a pure genius. He starts off with taking the knight on e5. Queen recaptures, but now we get f4, hitting the queen. Queen goes back to b8. e5 from Bobby, hitting the knight. We've got a counter attack from Tal with a6. But Bobby accepts the challenge and Bobby takes. Tal takes. And Tal's got double pawns, but a semi-open file for his rook on the a file. Bobby takes, hitting the rook. Rook to g8, attacking the pawn. And here's another pro tip from Bobby, is to always scan for undefended material and attack them while improving your pieces. So Bobby plays knight f4, hitting the bishop, which is undefended. Get bishop to e7. Queen to d4, defending the g7 pawn. Tal plays rook to a4, attacking Bobby's queen. And obviously, you never move your queen when it's attacked. You first play an intermediate move. So Bobby played here check and forking the king and the rook. So Tal's got two options. First is to move the king to d8, and then you get the following line. Get check, captures, and you lose your rook, hitting the bishop at the same time. So the best move is actually what Tal played, which was to take the knight on f6, and conveniently then Bobby gets his queen out of harm's way. We've got queen to c7. Bobby castles and gives up his a pawn. Tal takes the pawn, but Bobby attacks the rook. I would be a little bit scared of queen to a5 here. And then the engine just recommends the following with some pressuring on the f2 pawn. Got takes and takes, so not that bad for the line which the engine wants to play, because you're still up +5 according to the bar. In the game we get a rook to a6 to align it with a white queen. We first have takes while hitting the rook at the same time, and Tal attacks the bishop with the rook to b6. Get bishop d3. Now we get e5 with discovery on the queen. So one would think you would need to obviously move your queen, right? Well, no. You take the pawn and say, oh no, my queen. We get takes and takes. Tal plays queen to c5, and remember what we said earlier about undefended material. Bobby takes, the rook is trapped. Queen to g5, attacking the pawn. Where Bobby takes and takes. Rook to h1, joining the party and attacking the queen. We have takes and takes with check. King to d8. Bishop e6 with the pawn pinned, so it can't recapture. Queen h6 attacking the h-pawn. And Bobby takes with an interesting way to trade the bishop, which is pinned. Rook to f7. Queen takes on h2. We have takes with check. The king is sort of stuck on the back rank. We have another check and check. Here we've got the rook going back to the first rank and just lending some defense to the king. We've got b5, and here Bobby proposes a trade with rook to b7. Tal rejects it and defends his own pawn instead. Now we've got Bobby harassing the queen a bit with g4, queen to h3, g5, queen to f3, rook e1 check, king f8. We have takes, king to g7, rook b7, just sort of cutting the king or restricting the king's access to the board. We've got queen g3 attacking the rook. Bobby moves the rook to d1. Tal now attacks the other rook. Bobby says no thank you and connects the two rooks. He then obviously mates in 22 on the board. Tal plays the best move, which is queen to c8. Don't ask me why. Here Bobby slips up a bit with b3, but the engine still says plus 67 for white. The best move was actually rook to a6 with mate in 21. We've got king to h7. Bobby now finds rook to a6. And Tal now realizes that it's just game over and he resigns in this position, ladies and gentlemen. But if you're wondering, the engine proposes the following line and demonstrates how Bobby demolishes Tal. Okay, so the engine wants the following. So here's restricting the king to the back rank again. Got check and attacking the queen. Got check again. Check. And yeah, Bobby plays rook to h8 check with a forced exchange of the queen. And also the king will be cut off to one side of the board and the pawns will be rolling. So yeah, that is basically what happens. So now it's mate in 3, king h3, rook h8 check, mate in 2. We've got king to g2, mate in 1, king to g1, and ladies and gentlemen, mate on f2. Hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps the channel out.